done myself either. That's
sure.
So yeah. Right. Roberts. So just we stripped the head, valves are out of that, all ready to go, and then they are, you know, all Robert stuff here, all Richard stuff over there. We're going to mix up. So we just number them all anyway. It just looks cool, doesn't it? Looks as though I know what I'm doing. Yeah. I don't need an organiser. I've got it there. Look, I don't need to pay for an organiser box. And here it is on the floor mat. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, the only thing we'll be using of that is the valves. So all the valves will be cleaned up. Now, interestingly, if we looked at so exhaust valve look. So remember I said about there's no real carbon build-up on that because of the methanol. Look at the colour of it, lovely. That's I'll be more than happy with that. But they're all the same though. There's no real carbon build-up, and don't forget he didn't. He did. I was just thinking, yeah, of course he did. Yeah, we only come down to have all this done. We because we've done the deck brace for him, didn't we?
Yeah.
Done all that. So yeah, of course. And then your inlets. Look, that's the exhaust valves, which is good. And then the inlets is what we were talking about with the methanol. So that's what we're going to show you compared to Richard's in a minute, which runs MK3 software, and then compared to our own custom software, which he runs with methanol. So that's the exhaust valve, which you're seeing, and these are the inlets. Look how clean they are. That's just like one of them. They're all the same. You just randomly pick them up. See, look. Excellent, eh, Timmy?
Yep.
So that's what I said about the difference between with the methanol. So it just proves the point. If we look at that, look, I mean that's his head, but look, come over to this one. So this is Robert's exhaust valves. Look.
Richard, you mean?
Richard's, yeah, sorry. Richard.
I was just thinking about it, yeah.
So anyway, so look, we know that the EcoBoost engines is like the DI is an efficient running engine, but to me, I'd rather have it that colour over there of Roberts than that colour. To me, that's too lean, and then that's going to be creating more heat than that. Like I said, you know, run it a bit richer because fuel is a bit richer, yeah.
Richer.
Because fuel is a cooler, isn't it? So that's as well. So that's why you do it. And then you look at his inlet, so look at the carbon build up on that stem. See, look, which is pretty normal. Robert ain't got any of that because he's running methanol. So that just proves to all the disbelievers that meth don't work. Hey, the camera don't lie, no?
No.
Right, so let's move on a little bit there, Timmy. So that's Robert's head, which is, stripped down, very rough and roll, isn't it? Let's move on. I need that, don't I? Let's move on to the bottom end. So bottom end, there we are. So what I've done now, that I've all the oil spray jets are in. I've got to put the balance shaft delete in, which is easy. You go in there. We explained to you on the previous vid about the differences. We put them on the bench, didn't we? Yep. Stock crank against the Arrow Precision one, and then we said the counterweights are, you know, some missing and redesigned and re-drilled and balanced and that sort of stuff. So what I've done now, that is that's all in there. We use the assembly loop. You can use normal oil, whatever you want, 040 that's going to run on, so you use that if you wanted, but I prefer to use that. There are plenty of that on there. It's lovely. And it just, you just run on issues when you do first startup, everything's lubricated. So I'll just lubricate everything, so it gives us that. We spin it over anyway, with everything disconnected to get the, oil pressure up and to get the, to get it circulating around before we fire it. And then when we fire it up, we don't just let it idle. We go bang straight up onto like 2 grand, 2.5 grand to let them rings bite into the cylinders, right? But that's much later down the road. So that's all in nut. We've ARP main studded it as per instructions with the torquing and the actual grease that they use, the fastening lubricant as they call it. So, and what we do then is obviously we always check it. So when I just spin it, it's going to spin anyway with no cradle on it, innit? It's only when you put so this has got the dado main race bearings in it, quality make. That's what Phil's got on his. There's whatever's available, the Dydo ones are available, and then you might mix that with King Racing. On this particular application for Roberts, we got Dydo mains, King Racing big ends. On Richard's application, it's King Racing big ends and mains. So they're as good as each other, all right? So this is, I mean, there's no force on that. That's just me just, using the raglan. There's nothing on the end of it. It's just me just spinning it around. We've checked the crank end float. There's certain tolerances. Some will have a little bit more than others, but that's well within the tolerance. I can't remember what it is now. It's like from I don't know, is it 15, 0.01, something, 1,000 to 40, 0.0405 or something. I don't know without looking, but anyway, it's within the tolerance, and that's all running super smooth there, Timmy. So if you think about it, with that being 4 kilos lighter, without the balance shaft on it, which is there, which would be here. We'll just pick it up because that's the balance shaft feed, oil feed, so it would be there, look, as you can see that.
Yeah.
Because that one's basically in the same position as that, so it would be right there, wouldn't it? So you've got your second part of the cradle there, look.
Yep.
Because obviously this is the rear of the engine, this is the front of the engine, so going back from the rear, 1, 2, yeah, so 1, 2, right, and then it would just be sat in there, wouldn't it? As per the original.
Down, isn't it?
Gone, yeah. So that's going to be a lot lighter, much quicker spool up pickup. It's going to aid everything in it. So this with Roberts is going to run. I'm going to put the other file on it, which we're put it up around, closer to the 500 horsepower mark, and we'll max everything out, but still safely and reliably, and with all the methanol and etc. There's lots of other things coming on this, new things that has not been seen before. We'll see what happens, isn't it? But yeah, so that's all I've got to do is balance shaft deleting, which is easy, and then we'll put the rods, the Arrow Precision rods on the bench, and the Malva pistons, and then that takes a bit longer than this. This is not too bad to do. Fitting the pistons and all that, we'll show you what we use for the quick fit piston ring compression tool. Ideal, isn't it, to me?
Yeah.
Unless you can't really break a ring, you can do if you're stupid and forceful, and then you don't look at it until. But to be honest, you've got to be, pretty savage to break a ring when you're using that tool.
It's pretty dummy proof, isn't it?
It's dumb proof. With a normal ring compressor, with a band that you do up old school. Some people like using them. That's fine. You can break a ring. You can also break a ring by doing it old school when you wind them onto the piston. Before you even go to put it in the cylinder. But I prefer to use a proper tool for opening out the rings to drop them onto the top of the piston. But everybody does it their own way, which is absolutely fine. People issue builds, the race engine builder and machinist, he does it old school, just winds them on with his hands. That's fine. He's got the knack of it. That's what he does. That's what he feels comfortable doing. And then he probably uses the old school band compressor, I suppose. I don't know, but ones that we use is pretty much like they use on the production line. Brilliant. It just sits in there. It's just a ring, and it's chamfered down. So as you tap it down, it closes the rings up, and then bang into the cylinder. But you still got to be a bit careful. You've got to just be precise, and then you can push it in with your thumb. Don't really need to have to tap it with a hammer. All right. Bit more involved, with spinning it around and doing that side of it, because with the pistons and whatever. But we need to put the pistons on the rods with the gudgeon pin and the circuits. That is a nightmare. We've sort of got a little tool that we use to get them on there, but it is, you got to watch your fingers, because you can slip and then next minute it's into your thumb, innit?
Yep.
It's tough to do that, and you got to make sure to click them right. But we won't really show you how to do that because we won't have time. But we'll have fun with that, Timmy, won't we?
Yeah, lots.
Super fun, yeah. It's good. Right, so I think that's about it for a minute, guys and girls. We'll show you, because that's going to be, like I said, the only reason that I've done it like that is because you can't get into confused. You know where you're at. I know it doesn't matter about, the springs. It doesn't really matter. Some people take them off and just chuck them in a big pile, but that's not my style. That's not what I do. And then once presented like that, I can show you guys and girls the difference between running meth and not running meth, like Richard's. And then, like I said, the only thing that will be used on that is the valves. They'll all be cleaned up. They'll be sparkling like new. We'll lap them back in again, obviously. and then we'll show you when we get it on the bench the Piper cams double valve spring setup with a separate flat shim which goes on first, and then you've got the valve stem seals. Not like that, that's top hat type, which are a lot easier actually, prefer them, but the kit with the Piper double valve springs comes, you know, in separates, so it goes on first. That's just the way that it's been designed, so we'll use that. And then you got the beehive type standard valve spring on that. Obviously it's just in the shape of a beehive to me, do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's what they call them. So, but the Piper ones are same diameter all the way up, so not that configuration. Loads to do, isn't it, Timmy?
Yep.
So we need to, we're going on now, so we'll resume tomorrow later.